What's up, guys? Dane Davis here. Shout out to Boogie Bentley Dauber and the Indie Kid over at Talkin VAWLS Network on YouTube. VAWLS fans, head over to their YouTube channel, Talkin VAWLS Network. Smash that like button and subscribe, baby. Go Big Orange.
Go Big Orange. Thank you, Dane Davis. Your potential starting left tackle on the Tennessee Volunteers football team this year made a big move in spring practice. Appreciate him taking that time to give us a cameo, give us a shout out right there. My name is the Indie Kid. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network, bringing you a baseball update today. Tennessee got some more good news yesterday. Evan Russell announced he is returning to Knoxville next year. He's going to take advantage of that COVID year. Before I get into that, though, you know what's coming. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Check out the merchandise store. I'm going to scroll this across the bottom for you right here. Check out for the Talkin VAWLS merchandise, new logos, hoodies, baseball tees, hats. You don't have to wait for a mass order now. You can get them shipped. Once you place that order, you're getting your merchandise. So we appreciate anything you may pick up there, any swag, any merchandise, any merch, whatever you want to call it right there. But and be on the lookout, guys, as we're recording this Fall of the VAWLS football series. Yeah, we've had the comments of, I don't need to relive this again. And, we've had some snide remarks here and there. Well, we had a lot of support with it, but, we feel it's an interesting series. It's not all just what you think and just crapping on the whole thing. It's a lot of lookout that we're looking into. We're putting a lot into it, really detailed in terms of, we don't have interviews, things of that nature, but, we have enough, and we've researched it. We've gone over it. We're hitting recruiting aspects, administrative, football, the whole thing leading up to it. And that's going to lead up, of course, into the Josh Heupel era, where we'll do that as well. So, if you'll take time to kind of listen to what we're doing, you'll see it's maybe not as grim, not as dark as it looks, although it has been a dark history there. But anyhow, appreciate you guys sticking with me up to this point. Again, Evan Russell is returning to Knoxville. That's big news for Tennessee. Curious to see how that fits in, because you'll have Russell, you'll have Drew Gilbert, Jordan Beck. They're all back. You're starting outfield. You've also got Kyle Booker, who was a pretty highly thought of freshman this year as well. Good thing is you have the DH right there. So, you can play all four guys. You can maneuver them in and out if you need to, or what have you. But that's a stout, strong outfield. Should be one of the best in the SEC next year. And then haven't seen anything yet that Luke Lipsius has signed a pro deal. So does maybe he decide to come back as well. And then Redmond Walsh is another one. Does he decide to come back as well? These guys will, if they don't have that option to go pro, maybe they do have the option. They choose to come back to Knoxville for another year right there. But also some of the signings, Chad Dallas has signed with the Blue Jays. Liam Spence has signed with the Cubs. Haven't seen anything on Sean Hunley. Haven't seen anything on Pavloni. I can't imagine any of these guys drafted will be coming back. Case in point, if you come back as a senior with no eligibility left, you really don't have any leeway in contract negotiations or anything. It's like yesterday I saw that the Cubs' 6th-round pick, let me pull it up here just a minute. Cubs 6th-round pick, Riley Martin. He played for Quincy College. He was a 5th-year left-handed pitcher. He led NCAA D2 with 152 strikeouts, a 17.4 Ks per 9 innings. Pretty impressive looking pitcher here. Left-hander, 6th-rounder, signed for $1,000. Now, I don't know if that's bonus. I can't imagine that's salary. I would imagine salaries in addition to the bonus. And that slot for that pick was $263,700. So the Cubs obviously got a $262,700 deal on that one, as he signed for $1,000 bonus, and then I would imagine on top of his salary. But it just goes to show you, and it's been the case for years, if you don't have any eligibility left, you don't have a lot of negotiation right there, because they're going to draft, and it's not just the Cubs, that's any teams right there. I've seen the Braves do it too. They draft a senior, no eligibility left. sign them for under slot, and then they can use that money later on in the draft for maybe a high school prospect who is contemplating going to college instead, and they'll kind of entice them with that offer as well. But I don't expect any of the guys drafted. Now there's a couple. Of course, Brady House is signing with the Nationals. It's going to be interesting to see, just kind of looking over Tennessee's list. You know, I know Ryan Spikes was drafted in the 3rd round by Tampa Bay. I have a hard time seeing him come to Knoxville. Stranger things have happened right there. Does he want to try to improve his standing or not? I don't see it happening. I think they're probably, if Tampa's taking him out early, I think they've got an idea he's going to sign with them. But good news besides that for Tennessee, Chase Burns, who according to Perfect Game was the number 17th ranked player in the nation, decided to sign with Tennessee. Right there, Christian Moore, number 91st ranked player from Brooklyn, New York. He'll be at Tennessee come the fall. Also, you know, this is a very good recruiting class, top 10 recruiting class according to Perfect Game. And that just compounds with these other recruiting classes they've had that have ranked anywhere somewhere in the top 15 for about the last 3 to 4 years easily right there. And then the funny thing with baseball as well is if you're on Perfect Game, Tennessee's got numerous commitments per class all the way up to at least 2025 right now. They're off to some really good starts for 2022, 23, 24, and 25 right now with highly ranked prospects. Now, obviously, you have a guy like Brady House, who, according to Perfect Game, was the number 1 ranked high school prospect this year. Those guys aren't making it to campus, right? It's just not. It's the nature of it. It's great. You know, maybe some of them will decide to, but you're not going to see that very often. But back to the main topic of it, Evan Russell returns. That return, you know, that compounds a good week for Tennessee baseball right there. And, you know, they got to transfer from Georgia Southern. They've got Seth Halverson transferring from Missouri. Pitching staff looks good. They're going to have to replace all their infield. And, you know, one of the names that was mentioned as well was Colton Kessler from Kentucky, catcher. The last I was reading about, and I saw it on multiple fronts, that said that he's leaning towards signing a pro contract. So I think Tennessee's probably, you know, based on what I've read in numerous outlets through 24/7, through FallQuest, just, you know, on Twitter in general, through reputable sources, that they're still probably going to look for that portal to add a veteran catcher right there. Because Pavoloni, I see him signing with the Orioles. Jackson Greer, his eligibility is over with. I'd mentioned on the last video when I talked about that Pete Durkay, wonder what he'd do. Well, Pete Durkay is, in fact, and this was an error on my part, he's actually out of eligibility. Him, Will Heflin, Jackson Greer, all exhausted. They used their extra year, so they are done with at this point. I expect Tennessee to hit the portal there. Now they've got some good prospects coming in. How do these guys factor in the infield? Do some of your returning guys as well? How do they factor in? Also, I was just looking to 2020 class. You had some guys, I don't know, their predominant top prospects were outfielders and pitchers, right? Now you got Brock Lucas, who was, according to Perfect Game, ranked 390. Where does he factor in right there as well? Just looking, of course, Liam Spence is gone. I've seen people talk about Logan Steenstra, 6'5", 210. Does he move in at first base if Lipsius doesn't return? Of course, Jake Rucker's gone. Darrell Ortega, I know he played some earlier in the season last year. Where is he going to factor in? Is he maybe potential middle infielder right there? Cortland Lawson, another potential middle infielder. Trey Lipscomb, who will be a senior next year. You know, where else? I mentioned Brock Lucas. He's listed as an infielder / pitcher. And then, you know, we'll see from there. But I know Tennessee, again, they've got Christian Moore coming in next year. Let me pull my 2020. I know they've got Seth Stevenson, JUCO. Does Dayton Dooney? He was drafted by the Royals in the 6th round. I think there's probably a pretty good chance he signs with the Royals. Haven't seen anything on that front. Christian Moore's listed as a shortstop. Blake Burke, number 391, Brentwood, California, 6'3", 235. He'll be arriving. Let's see what else Tennessee has for infielders. They definitely got some catchers in this class of Andrew Cribbs from CAK in Knoxville, Ryan Miller from Dublin, Ohio, Angus Pence, Farragut High School. He is a infielder shortstop as well. And then Noah Conley from, looks like Alaska, actually. Ketchikan, Alaska is in this recruiting class as well. So where does Tennessee go with their infield? Again, a lot, potentially having to replace the entire infield and your catcher. That's a lot to fill. So you're going to think Tennessee's still going to be active in the portal. And, of course, you can't discount the fact they could possibly lose some guys to the portal as well. The last I'd seen, only 2 guys were in the portal. Not sure if that increased. Hopefully it doesn't increase. But I think it would be big. I'd love to see Lipsius return. I'd love to see Redmond Walsh return as well. Those would be big additions. I think your starting rotation is going to be stout. I'm curious to see the wild card. What do they do with Camden Sewell? Does he, I've seen talk, is he in that weekend rotation or does he become that Sean Hunley guy? Personally, based on what they have, I would like to see Sewell become that Sean Hunley, but you can't discount the fact he pitched really well down the stretch. Made a big start in the SEC tournament, so got to factor in as well. But things are looking good for Tennessee. You got to think, these guys are developing players. They're coaching them up. Things are going to look good for next year, and especially you get this class in, and we'll see what the draft again. I expect the guys who were on the roster, Tennessee roster last year that were drafted, I don't expect them back. Now it's going to turn to the signees. Do all the signees that were drafted, what do they do? But should be an exciting time. Should be a really good team next year. And, I expect we'll get more good news along the way also. And, once that breaks, I'll come to you and bring that to you. But, again, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Be on the lookout for the Fall of the VAWLS will be dropping. We're actually going to record some tonight. We'll drop that Tuesday and Thursday. We'll drop those episodes. Also be on the lookout through the week. Any news, Boogie's been dropping football videos. Dropped the one about Pro Football Focus, predicting Hendon Hooker as the starting quarterback, which was kind of surprising. But, if you go back to spring practice, it's really not, because he was considered the lead guy at the end of spring practice. But lots going on. For July 18th today. We're not far off from football time, guys, but still lots going on with baseball news. I expect more basketball news coming as well, so just stay tuned on that. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. You guys take care. Have a good Sunday. And in the words of Boogie Bentley, go Big Orange.
The